All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. Okay, guys, so in my last video update on Friday, we were talking about this small range. Let me zoom in onto the 15-minute chart here. And we were talking about this small grinding channel that we were in. And we did have some liquidity that was resting right down into our support level at 106K, where we have our anchored VWAP and our golden pocket, local golden pocket. And then we were also talking about the liquidity that was just above the 108K highs, the 108,350 highs, where we had some liquidity resting there. And we were talking about usually what happens over the weekend is slow, grindy type price action, where the market maker will generally go stop out both sides of that liquidity before continuing the real bigger move. Now, on Friday, we were grinding down in this channel and we were getting close to 106. And I was suggesting that we could drop down, hitting the bottom of the channel and hitting 106 before ultimately coming up and taking the liquidity of the highs. But over the weekend, that did not happen. You can see we bounced, made a higher low, reclaimed the midline, back tested that midline as support, came up to the top of the channel, small rejection at the top of the channel, but just pretty much grind down into VWAP. Then we were able to kind of break the channel to the upside, back test that channel, and then come up and grab that liquidity. So what happened this morning is we came up and we grabbed the liquidity of our small, few like 3-day range highs, grabbed that liquidity above there, and now we're dumping. And what is key here is we did know there was liquidity above those highs, and we also know there's liquidity down at 106K. So one of the things that we could be looking for, like I said on Friday, is for the market makers to kind of stop out both sides of this small upper range, this range that we've been in since Wednesday, and then continue with the bigger move. Well, we broke out of this channel. I'm going to go ahead and delete this channel now. We still do have our bigger channel, by the way, our bigger descending channel that, let me zoom out on this. Let's go to the 2-hour chart. That is our 7-week descending channel. Our range that we've been in for 7 weeks, we have this descending channel. And we are getting close to the top of that descending channel, which, by the way, coming into the top of that channel, we'll be grabbing our liquidity at 109K, and we also have that 786 Fibonacci pull there as well. Let me go ahead and grab that here, 786. Oh, actually, that's from the all-time high. Yeah, so you can see at 109K, we have that 786 right into the top of the channel, grabbing that liquidity. There is a potential we could continue up to grab that liquidity before falling down to 106K. But right now, if we look more locally at what's happening on the charts, or first let's look at the 7-week range, you can see that our value area high is what we've been kind of struggling with since Wednesday. We've been struggling breaking out of this value area high right here at about 108K. Now, we broke above it this morning, took the liquidity of our small 3-day range, 3 or 4-day range, and now we're dumping back with inside the volume profile. So we've already closed a couple hourly candles within the back underneath the value area high, and we are starting to close higher time frame candles back underneath the value area high. If we zoom out to the 4-hour chart, you can see our first 4-hour candle underneath the value area high closes in about 55 minutes, in about an hour. And if we do start to close 4-hourly candles below this value area high, there is a potential now that we've taken the highs of our mini range that we can come take the lows, and those lows are resting around 106.4, but I would suspect if we come down that low, we're actually going to come down and hit 106K, which is where our anchored VWAP from the all-time high is, and our local golden pocket support. So it is a little bit of a bad sign that we had the fake out of the value area high, and now we're dumping back within it, and that is a sign that we could now come for the liquidity at the lows of our mini range. And I'm talking about this little range right here. Now, if we zoom in on the charts, let me zoom back in onto the 15-minute chart, and let's go ahead and turn off the big parallel channel, and let's turn off our 7-week range, and let's just look at the range that we've been in since Wednesday. So this small range that we've been in since Wednesday, you can see once again, we deviated the value area high, came up, took that liquidity. Now we came back down inside the volume profile. We're bouncing from the point of control of our small 3-day range, maybe 5-day range. But look at what is happening as we're speaking right now. We made a small bounce up, and now we're seeing a bearish backtest of the value area high, and right now it is rejecting that value area high. So if we do reject this value area high, and in an hour we start to close 4-hour candles below 108K and below like 107.8K, 107.8, then I do suspect we could continue to drop and fill this volume profile, at the very least coming down to about 107K, where the value area low of our 5-day range is. Let's go ahead and pull a Fibonacci. We'll pull Fibonacci from the lows of this small range, if I can get on it. There we go. To the highs. Okay. And yeah, it looks like our 786 is going to be right around that value area low. So this is going to be our most local support level that I would be interested in looking for a scalp long on. But honestly, I think that if we do come down to the value area low, there is a potential it holds and we continue to range within this small range. But I would really be looking still for 106K. And I know I've been saying that all week and we haven't come down there. We've front run it a few times, but we do have now a lot of semi-equal lows down here resting right underneath that, right above that support level. So a liquidity grab of all these lows into our support level would be nice. But if we do reject right now the bearish backtest of this value area high and we break the point of control to the downside, there is a very, very high likelihood that we drop at least to 106.8, 107K, where the value area low, 786 of our small ranges. And then if we do not hold that, then we probably are going to continue down to 106K. And so I am looking at 107K as a potential scalp long. And if we do scalp this 107K, if we do bounce from here and we look for a long from here, of course, your stop would go be wherever that wick ended up. And I would be targeting 109K. I'd be targeting the top of the parallel channel. I'd be targeting that 786, and I'd be targeting the liquidity grab of 109K just as a small scalp. Now, I would probably take out 80% of my scalp long at that, leave 20% open just in case Bitcoin wants to continue to pump up to, 109.8, where we have a naked weekly point of control, or even higher levels. So right now, that's kind of just what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. Kind of slow weekend. We did have a little bit of a move this morning. Locally to the upside, within this range, let's just focus on this 5-day range that we've been in for now. Within this range to the upside, you can see I have a new naked daily point of control marked out at about 108.2. And if we look at our golden pocket that was pulled from the high that we made this morning to the dump lows we just made an hour or two ago, and we look at that golden pocket, let me grab that. Here we go. That golden pocket is going to be coming in right around 108.1, 108.2. And you can see that's pretty much in alignment with our naked daily point of control. So a local resistance area where we could find some resistance is this little guy right here, 108.2 pretty much. And, but once again, guys, if we at 108K or 107.8K is the value area high of our 5-day range. So as long as we're below it, I do expect us to continue to grind down to 107 at the very least. If we can get back above 107K, which is also our VWAP, 107.8, excuse me, which is also our VWAP, maybe flip that to support, we can at least work our way up to 108.2. If we do reject there and fall back within the volume profile, that will be a bad sign. But if we can even get back above that, then I do think we're coming straight for 109. So very locally, we just have some local levels to be watching. To the upside, 108.2 and then 109K. Those are our two local resistance areas where I would be interested in looking at potential short positions. And then to the downside, we have that 107 to 106.8K area of support, which is the value area low of our range in confluence with our local range 786 fib retrace. And then, of course, that 106K, which is our bigger golden pocket in confluence with a anchored VWAP. And that golden pocket is from this low to, and actually we need to repull that now because we have made new highs. So let's go ahead and repull that. There we go. And golden pocket. It's just going to be a little bit higher. Yeah, so it's still, so now our support, I would say our support last week was between 106 to 105.9. Now our support is just a little bit higher. It's at 106, 150 to 106, but pretty much 106 still. So that is going to be our support level, just moved up about $100 because our anchored VWAP has been moving up little by little, and our golden pocket just moved up little today with that new high. So that's the areas I'm interested in Bitcoin. If we look at our CVD and open interest charts. So guys, on Friday's video, I warned about the bullish absorption being on the verge of being invalidated because of the big giant drop we were seeing in open interest. And this is using aggregated open interest, but you can see last week, as we were forming this like ascending channel structure to the upside, we were building bullish absorption on the CVD charts, on the open interest charts with aggregated open interest. Nice steady increase in open interest, meaning new positions are opening. Our CVD was consistently dropping, meaning a majority of those positions that were opening were short positions, yet Bitcoin was making higher lows on the chart and continuing to push up, showing that bigger players were absorbing retail shorters, and we could have got a big squeeze to the upside. But as we started dropping on Friday, our open interest started dropping drastically here. And I did say if we see a prolonged dip in open interest like this, now the technical invalidation is taking out the lows of where the bullish absorption started from. So technically it's still not invalidated, but I did say the last 5, 6, 7 times I've seen this over the past few months on the open interest charts, where we see a nice steady increase in open interest and then a prolonged decrease without the bullish and open interest, without the bullish absorption playing out, that does tend to invalidate the bullish absorption. And you can see here, our bullish absorption is not really playing out as nicely as we'd like it to. And in some ways, I think it has been invalidated. Technically, it still has not, because technically we are still making lower lows in the CVD, higher lows in the open interest, or I mean higher, we're moving higher in the open interest, and our price action is making higher lows. So technically, if you want to stay super textbook, it is still seeing bullish absorption, but it's not the nicest and cleanest bullish absorption. Now, very, very locally, since we made our high earlier today and took out our liquidity of the highs of the range, we came up, we took out the liquidity of the highs of the range, and now we're dumping back inside our volume profile. You can see what happened this morning is retail got tricked quite drastically here. And a lot of people started longing the breakout of this range right in this area that I just circled, in this push to the upside. You can see CVD was increasing, so a lot of long positions were coming in. And if we look at our open interest in that same time, it was brand new long positions opening towards the highs of the range. And once we grabbed the liquidity, the highs of the range, and started dumping, those long positions were trapped underwater, and they are getting squeezed right now. So the drop that we are seeing, you can see our open interest is decreasing right now. For the past few hours, our open interest is decreasing because those late longers are getting stopped out or liquidated. They're getting squeezed out of their positions because we took the liquidity and now we're dropping. And so it was a perfect trap to trick retail into longing the top of a range. And now we are dumping, squeezing those people out of their positions. This is typical market maker moves where we come take the highs of the range and trap everyone that tries to long the break out of the range. And now maybe we're going to dump and come take the lows of the range, which is around 106.4 into that 106.1K support level. So just be aware of that. We could see that drop now to 106K, especially if we start closing 4-hour candles back with inside this volume profile. You can see, let's zoom back out to the 4-hour chart. Yeah, 4-hour is going to close in 45 minutes, so be aware of that. And just be aware that we have some local support at like 107K before then. But yeah, it's looking like we might see a drop down to 106 now, or at least 107. Okay, and as far as our oscillators go, we really did invalidate with today's push to the upside. Our momentum waves went pretty high, and we did invalidate the bearish divs that we were seeing on the chart. But we are still seeing, and we know that money flow is the most important thing on the chart. We are seeing bear divs, higher highs on the price action and lower highs on the money flow. So we are seeing bearish divs on money flow. You can also see on NAMI, money flows crossing over into the red. Now, I do want to warn against this. NAMI did just print a hidden bull signal on the 1-hour chart. And these hidden bull signals, guys, are no joke. So because we are printing this hidden bull signal, there is a potential that the POC of the range, which is right around 107.4, there's a potential that that does hold and we continue up to 109K, or that we even just come down a little bit further to 107K, the value area low of the range, and the value area low could hold, and then we could push right back up to 109K. So be aware that that hidden bull signal is a powerful signal that is printing on NAMI on Bitcoin here on the 1-hour chart. If we go to the 2-hour chart, no bear divs on the 2-hour. We did print some hidden bear divs earlier today, but followed by a hidden bull div. So in that hidden bull div already kind of played out with that push to the upside. Now, the hourly hidden bull div, I guess you could say that that has played out. Let's look at that actually. No, we did print a new hidden bull div on the hourly just like an hour ago, an hour or 2 hours ago. So be aware that that is there. The 4 hour chart, money flow is crossed over back into the green, which is a good sign. We do not have bear divs. I mean, they're like equal highs here. So we do have higher highs in the price action, but we have equal highs in the momentum waves on market cipher B. But on NAMI here, NAMI is showing a bear div here. So we have higher highs in the price action and we have lower highs in our momentum waves. And you can see on NAMI, our money flow is now just crossing over into the red here. And this sign here on NAMI does along with if we close a 4 hour candle back underneath the value area high, this 4 hour bear div along with closing back inside our volume profile, I would expect to move down to 107K. Okay, and then let's zoom out onto the daily chart. On the daily chart, you can see that we're just money flow kind of continues to drain out of the asset. It is raising a little bit now back up here, but we do need to watch for a lower high money flow momentum wave where we continue to make bear divs on money flow. So I would just it's not looking the worst. Let's say that money flow is not looking the worst, and also on NAMI, money flow is actually crossing back up into the green, which is a decent sign. But I do think it looks like we're going to keep ranging for a bit. It looks like we could come down to 107 or 106K to grab the liquidity, and then we'll see a bigger move. Like I talked about on Friday, oftentimes the market makers like to stop out both sides of your local range, grab liquidity to both sides, wreck the players on both sides, and then make the overall move that was going to happen. So, and I do think more potential upward momentum is still a bigger probability, but I think coming down to 106K first might happen before we see that bigger move to the upside. So that's about it for today's Bitcoin price. Actually, let's cover the liquidations real quick. And before we do that, if you guys got anything out of this video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. And also, we do have a couple sponsors of the channel. We have BYDFI. They are a KYC free exchange and a VPN needed. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. They are offering people who use my affiliate link down in the description below really good bonuses. First of all, you can get 17% discount on trading fees minimum, but depending on how much you deposit, you can get higher discounts on trading fees. They're also offering initial deposit bonuses. Like if you deposit $100, you get a 50% bonus just for depositing $100 and trading. This only goes till July 3rd, so take advantage of this while you can. But you guys can see down below right here, you get a 10% deposit bonus, 20% deposit bonus if you deposit 500. You get a 10% deposit bonus, 20%, excuse me, if you deposit 1,000, and then you get, if you're a whale and you're trading bigger accounts, you get a 10% deposit bonus. So these bonuses are available till July 3rd. They're also offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in your futures trading. Link is in the description if you're interested in signing up there. It's a way to help out the channel. Also, we do have NAMI. NAMI is this indicator that I've been using, a momentum and money flow indicator I've been using for a few months now. Really good indicator to help you get entries and exit confirmations on your trades. This indicator is running a 50% off special for a limited time if you use my affiliate link. The affiliate link is in the description, and also the discount code, which is Divine50, is in the description as well. So if you're interested in that, you can give that a try out. Right now is probably the best time to look at doing that with the discount. And then lastly, we do have MEXC. They are an exchange. They do require KYC, but they're offering a 10% deposit bonus on your initial 10% bonus on your initial deposit, 10% cashback bonus, and then they're offering up to $20,000 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you trade in your futures markets. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's cover that liquidations real quick. In the last video update on Friday, we talked about the local leverage that was above 1084, riding up into 1084, and then that liquidity that was down at 106K. Well, the liquidity is still down below at 106K, and we did take a majority of the liquidity that was above us, but we didn't take quite all of it, and it actually looks like some new liquidity was added. So we grabbed, as far as structure goes, we did grab the liquidity above the highs of the range, but because some more people shorted this SFP, there is some new liquidity that is resting above those highs right up into about 109K, where we also know our larger liquidity grab is. And then we do still have the liquidity that is resting down at 106K. You can see all that liquidity resting down at 106K there, quite a bit. And then also we do have a small liquidity pool resting into 107K, which is the value area low. So the levels that we marked out that are actual support levels based off of price action also have liquidity there. What a coincidence, you know? Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow.